Welcome to Estate Planning Nightmares and How to Avoid Them. I'm your host, John Braddock, the author of Click Here When I Die, Making Things Easier for Those You Love, and co-founder of MyLifeAndWishes.com, an end-of-life planning and storage platform created for the sole purpose of not leaving a nightmare for our families after we are gone. This show is about the nightmares which potentially await, the realities of not planning, and the simple solutions to avoid them. Our goal is to provide valuable information on a crucial topic that affects everyone. Estate planning is often overlooked, but it is essential to ensure that one's assets are distributed according to their wishes and that their loved ones are not burdened with unnecessary legal and financial issues after their passing, or nightmare avoidance. Some secrets should not be taken to the grave, and show me the money. Welcome back to another episode of Estate Planning Nightmares and How to Avoid Them. I'm your host, John Braddock, and today we're diving into a topic that hits close to many families: hidden money. More specifically, the unfortunate stories of families who, after the passing of a loved one, were unable to find the hidden fortune that they believe existed. But as we'll discover, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Today, I'll share a few real-life situations. First, let's begin with Lisa's story. A few years ago, Lisa's grandfather passed away, and he was known to be quite secretive about his finances. Rumors circulated within the family that he had hidden a substantial amount of money, possibly in the thousands, but unfortunately, they couldn't find it anywhere. They searched his home thoroughly, turning every drawer, flipping through every book, but there was no sign of the hidden fortune. I'm sure you can imagine how incredibly frustrating this must have been, simply not knowing. They never discovered any concrete evidence of this hidden money. It left them wondering if the rumors were simply that, rumors. Maybe it was just a family legend that grew over time, but is a mystery that has remained unsolved. The next story is James's story. In his case, it was a great uncle who had passed away. He was known to be a bit of an eccentric and had a flair for the unconventional. When he died, they were certain he had hidden money somewhere in the house. They searched all the typical places: under the mattress, in shoe boxes, behind picture frames, but found nothing. That's when James started to think outside the box, beyond the typical hiding spots. His breakthrough came when he decided to investigate his extensive collection of antique furniture. He discovered a hidden compartment in an old wooden dresser that had been overlooked for years. Inside, he found stacks of cash and various valuable items that his family member had squirreled away over time. It was stumbling upon a treasure trove. Hey, it just goes to show that sometimes hidden fortunes can be found in the most unexpected places. Here's some of the things I have found during my research. For instance, there was a case of a family that discovered money hidden inside an old, non-functioning toilet tank. Apparently, their late relative had dismantled the toilet, carefully placed the cash inside, and then reassembled it. I mean, who would think to look there, right? Another particular story came across involved a gentleman who hid his money inside an empty jar of mayonnaise in his refrigerator. It's safe to say nobody would suspect their savings to be chilling right next to the condiments. And I've also heard of people hiding money in fake Campbell's soup cans in their pantry, an old coffee can stashed in books on the bookshelf, and even inside pockets of old suitcases stored in their attics. It's truly amazing how creative people can get when it comes to concealing their money. Unfortunately, if the deceased took these secrets to the grave, small fortunes may never be discovered. That rightfully belonged to the family. So here's a story I call, Was Dad a Pirate? So I was in a lovely cigar bar enjoying a drink and a great cigar. Hey, don't judge me. We all have our own vices. Anyway, a group of us were talking about, uh, uh, what we did. And a gentleman in particular asked me what I did for a living. So I told him about our company. He said, "Holy crap, have I got a story for you." His father had recently passed away, and they were in the process of moving his mother to a care facility as she was declining and had some dementia. He was charged with selling the family property. On one particular visit with his mom, he was telling her about the great progress that they were making with the house and an offer for the home, which they would likely be accepting. Then, and this is the funny part. Then his mother makes an offhanded comment. She says, "Well, don't forget about the gold that Dad buried in the basement." And he kind of chuckled to himself and he thought, well, Mom's not having a very good day here. And I'm pretty sure Dad was not a pirate. And so he blew it off. Then, on another visit to his mother shortly after, he was telling her that they had sold the house and the closing was just around the corner. She again said, "Well, don't forget about the gold Dad buried in the basement." Huh. This time he said his spider senses started tingling. He went to the house and literally tore the basement apart. Guess what? Arg, matey, eureka! Dad had indeed buried gold in the basement. And if Mom hadn't mentioned this a second time, it never would have been found. Well, at least not by the rightful owners. And lastly, let me leave you today with a proactive story. I received a phone call from a man named Phil. He said, "John, I'm not sure where or how to let family know where I stashed some money in case something happens to me." I said, "Well, tell me about it, Phil." He said, "Well, look here." He said, "Every week, same time, same location, I meet my buddies and we play poker. And boy, I mean, we play poker, sometimes as long as 12 hours or more. And here's the thing," he said, "I always bring my winnings home and stash them in a particular spot in a coat in a closet." He said, "John, there could be upwards of $10,000 in there at any one time." He said, "I'm afraid if something happens to me, my family, since they don't know it exists, will go gather up all my clothes, throw them in the bag, and off to Goodwill they go. And they would never be able to access that money." So naturally, I told him exactly how to let family know that it's there when the time comes by utilizing the My Life and Wishes platform. But aside from that, I said, on a side note, "Phil, I will never play poker with you because I'm not that kind of poker player." So there you have it, friends. Don't leave family guessing or wondering. Ask yourself, what is it that you know that no one else knows, that at some point they will need to know? It's critically important. I mean, if we want our family to have these treasures without enduring a massive scavenger hunt, to leave the instructions behind. Again, show me the money. Some secrets shouldn't be taken to the grave. Plan ahead and make it a great day. Thank you for listening. You can subscribe, listen, and download all the Estate Planning Nightmares episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. We'd be grateful if you would save our show to your favorites and share them with others. Remember, life is messy, but death is messier. You can learn more about My Life and Wishes Legacy Vault at www.mylifeandwishes.com. Plan ahead and make it a great day.